Hi everyone, welcome back to Kaycee's Beauty Bar. As you can see, I'm in a new apartment, which is pretty exciting. We've got this fun new wall and neon sign to do our makeup tutorial in front of. So today we are celebrating National Iced Tea Day, which is one of my favorite days, with iced tea from Chick-fil-A. But today we are going to spill a little tea and talk about dating with a disability. And I think it's one of those taboo topics that people just avoid, but we definitely should talk about it. And also we're gonna learn how to do this fun date night look, so stay tuned. Off camera, I primed my face and I also wet my beauty blender. I'm actually trying a new foundation out. It's the Makeup Revolution. I used their products in our video that we highlighted brands that feature people with disabilities. So diving right into dating, I think the most common way that people meet each other now is dating apps. And I tried a few. I'm on Hinge the most. I was also on Tinder a little bit as well, but I like Hinge a little bit more than Tinder because Tinder is, it's very much like you just get to look at people's pictures, and a lot of people on Tinder don't put bios, so you don't really get to get a glimpse into who people are like you do on Hinge, because Hinge has where you can answer questions and put a little bit more of your personality into your profile. So I usually like that better. The thing with these apps is you're asking people to make a judgment right away on someone based solely on how they look. And my disability is very visible, so I make sure that my wheelchair is in my profile, and that way, I don't know, it just very clearly shows that I'm disabled. I would rather not have surprises, and I don't know, I just feel like my disability is just a huge part of who I am that I wouldn't, I don't know, I'm not in a part of my life where I want to hide that. I am going to add a little bit more of this foundation on my nose as well as my neck. Hopefully, once I get a little tanner this summer, it'll be a better match. This is the first time I tried this product. I definitely would have probably gotten a lighter shade, but it is really heavy. So if you're looking for a full coverage foundation, this might work for you. It was only $7. I got it at CVS. But if you're looking for something a little bit more light for summer, I don't think this is the best summer choice. So next, I'm gonna go in with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. If you encounter someone with a disability on a dating app, I would recommend asking normal questions. I would not make the first question what their disability is. They will open up to you whenever they feel ready. And I just don't think it's an appropriate first question, because you wouldn't share personal medical information about yourself. So why would you expect someone to do that just because theirs is more visible? I also think it's a red flag too when they can't stop bringing it up. If that's the only thing they want to talk about, it's a little weird. I think there's much more to me than just my disability, and it kind of just makes me feel like you're not truly seeing who I am if that's all you can focus on. So next we're gonna go in with e.l.f. It is a bright pink powder foundation. I want a little bit more of a lighter look tonight. I'm gonna use it kind of to contour my cheeks a little bit. We went over not asking personal questions right off the bat. I think the other thing that I think is a good thing to ask is if you're planning on going on a date with someone with a disability, I think it is absolutely okay and to ask about access needs. So for example, for me, I need wheelchair accessible entrance. I need an wheelchair accessible bathroom. So what you would do is you would call up the place you wanted to go on a date with me to and make sure it had both of those things. It's super simple, but it goes a long way and it means a lot to the person that you're taking out. The next thing I'm gonna do is go in with Fenty Beauty. It is the What a Brat. It's the pink highlighter that I am just obsessed with. I'm going to put it right along here. So for the eye look, we are going to do a Morphe palette. This is the 35F palette. I'm going to start in with the bottom row, and I'm going to go in with this shade. And this is a big, fluffy, round brush. Another like dating pet peeve of mine is when people ask right off the bat about sex. I think one, it's tacky, and two, it's kind of weird to assume right off the bat that we are going to have sex. And I think it's very important, like when the time comes, to have that conversation and have communication, and to be open with your partner about sex and what your needs are for that. But to ask it as a first question, especially when we haven't even met, is inappropriate and also just like tacky to me. Like, I don't know. It's like a lot to assume that we're having sex, and also they always assume that disabled people can't have sex, which is such a like weird misconception. People with disabilities can have sex, and we do, and I think it's kind of like a taboo subject, and it shouldn't be, and we should just normalize communication, but at the right time. And when you first, like, even like you haven't even met the person, don't message them and ask them about something sexual right off the bat. It's weird. We're gonna go in with this darkest shade on the very bottom row. It's right next to the black. If you're not using this palette, it's kind of a brownish red color. I think something too that people with disabilities should consider while dating is safety. It's something that everyone should consider, but also especially people with disabilities, and making sure that you have your access needs met, because one, you'll feel more comfortable, but you also I don't know, I just think that whenever you have your access needs met, you just are in a safer position. Like, for example, if I was going to go to a restaurant and there was a step to get in and I had to have my date help me get into the restaurant, it potentially could make an awkward situation if I wanted to leave early, because then I would have to ask my date for help to leave. And I think this also goes to meeting up with people in public places, because if you're meeting up with a partner or a date at their place and it's not accessible, it's possibly a dangerous situation that you don't want to put yourself in. So thinking through your access needs and making sure they're met for your own personal safety, not just your comfort. Okay, so pickup lines. I feel like on dating apps, people with disabilities get the weirdest things put into our messages. Like, honestly, disability related pickup lines are totally cringe to me. I think it's funny if like it's a disabled person making it about themselves, but when a non-disabled person makes like a weird disability pickup line, one, we probably have heard it like a million times, and two, it just like goes back to the fact that like, is that all that you see is my disability, and like, is that all that you notice about me? So I don't know, I personally think those are like cheesy, but I think all pickup lines are kind of cheesy. But yeah, I would skip the disability related pickup lines. It's a no from me. Ugh. I took the same colors that we put on the top and I lined my lower lash line with them. I don't know why, but like as a teenager, I like felt like eyeshadow should only go on the top lid, and that is like not the case. I always put it on my bottom lower lash line as well. It just balances out the look and it looks so much better. So now I'm gonna go in on the other end of the spectrum and blend out this look. So talking about accessible date ideas, one of my favorites is museums, because museums are supposed to be wheelchair accessible. They should be ADA, and like most museums, they do have accessibility. So I think museums are a great first date, and it's fun. It's fun to... My favorite one in New York is the Met. I could literally go to the Met like every day and not be tired of it. But another like fun date idea in New York City is picnics in Central Park, especially during COVID. A lot of people were more comfortable meeting outside. But for me, as a wheelchair user, transferring onto the ground to have a picnic would make me feel unsafe. I would prefer to stay in my wheelchair on a first date. So if you want to have a more accessible picnic, consider having one at a picnic table. So that way they don't have to transfer out of their chair. It just makes it much easier, and it goes back to that access needs, just talking it through with your date, making sure your plan is accessible. And also, like, everyone's needs are so different, so like what might have worked for me might not work for someone else with a disability, so just having that open line of communication is important. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and add a little sparkle. The top row has some fun golds. I'm gonna choose this one to put on my lid. Another don't for going on a date with someone with a disability is don't help without asking. I'm pretty vocal. Like, if I need help, I will definitely ask for it, but it makes me super uncomfortable when people just like assume and like start helping. For example, if I'm in my manual chair and I'm going up a hill, I might go a little bit slower, but that doesn't mean I'm inviting you to push me. So if I did need help, I would ask. It also doesn't hurt to be like, hey, like, do you need help? If you see someone like struggling. But the key is only help if they answer yes. I've had people, I'm like, oh, no, I'm good, and they'll just start pushing me, or they'll open the door anyway, even though I had it, and it just makes it awkward, and like then they're in the way. So just trust the person. So now I'm gonna go in with a little bit lighter, same palette. I'm just sliding down and getting the lightest shade of glitter and adding it to the corner for like a little bit of a pop. I'm gonna just take this, it's like a buffer brush. I've had it forever. I honestly cannot tell you where I got it. It just needs buffed out a little bit more than it is. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is my eyeliner, and I'm going to do a wing, and this is Rare Beauty. Sorry, I had to do the rest of my wing off camera, because if you can do a wing and talk at the same time, like, bless you. I could not do that. Like, I need total concentration to get the wing even. I'm going in with the Benefit Goof Proof pencil. My brows like are so rough these days. Like, I still am not really getting them done consistently because of the pandemic. So like it's a little rough, guys. Even though that my eyebrows are a little bit wild, I'm gonna tame them down a little bit with this Benefit Gimme Brow. It's in shade 3. It's like a liquid, so it kind of helps them stay better. They're still wild, but hopefully my curtain bangs will cover some of this, because yeah, they're just a little out of control. So I'm going in with the Bad Gal Bang Bang mascara. I just think it's like super important that you educate yourself on disabilities and advocacy, and you know, just kind of like get to know disability culture a little bit if you're going to have someone with a disability in your life. It just shows that you care and you're putting an effort, and it's gonna go a long way, and it's gonna mean a lot to us. And you're also like saving yourself the embarrassment of like accidentally, you know, grabbing my wheelchair. Like, you watch this video, you know that that's a major no, and that's like, I don't know. It shows that you put in effort whenever you are researching and like taking the time to learn these things. So I'm just gonna do like this, it's CoverGirl. It's just like a very nude gloss. All right, so I think that completes this look. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to what I have to say. I hope this kind of opened your eyes on like what it's like dating with a disability. And if you are disabled, I hope you could relate. So thank you so much for watching. If you could follow me at Kaycee, Kaycee Couture, Couture on Instagram. Thank you, everyone. Bye.